Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or yes there, just to let me know that it is working. Happy Friday. Just want to welcome everybody here and also want to welcome anybody new with us to the program. If you are new, let us know in the chat box. Just let us know what state you're from or what country you're from, and we'll welcome you here. Um, like I said, happy Friday. I'm looking forward to having a great weekend and obviously closing our COT report trades this morning, and kind of recapping the week and then getting set for next week. Today I'm going to keep it kind of short. I have a lot of stuff I got to get to today. So I got to cut it short. Plus, I think we're really just going to need to do like a recap and then just kind of prep for next week. And so I honestly don't think I need more than like 15 to 30 minutes, something like that is what I'm thinking about going today. So we'll make it quick. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. As always, I need to remind you about the risks involved in the market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, in addition to how big your lot size is and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So make sure that you're going through that process each and every time that you take a trade. All right, guys. So let me pull up. I actually have my trades here. I'm going to go ahead and this is the fun part. We finally get to close our trades that we've had open all week. So we've been very patient. And wow, actually, this has jumped really good in the last, just even the last hour. I don't know if you guys have been watching it. That's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the day and close these out. This is exciting. So let's go to this part. So let's go to the COT journal, and I'm going to go ahead and close each one out one at a time. So I have my dollar yen trade. It's up 288 pips right now. That's amazing. I'm going to close that one out. 288 pips, dollar yen, 288. And then I'm going to close out my USD franc. I'm up 92 on that guy right here. I'm up 92. And I'm going to go ahead and close out the USD CAD. I'm up 139 in the USD CAD. That guy's closed, 139. Okay. And I have our bonus trades from the week, right? The pound dollar short and the euro dollar short. Euro dollar short, or excuse me, the pound dollar short is up 127. I'm going to close that one right now. 127. Euro dollar short, I'm going to close that one out. I'm up 112 on that one. Just amazing. Just amazing. 112. And then, yeah, the USD franc made us 92. And then I still have my Mexican peso trade, which that one hasn't done as well in the last 24 hours. I didn't take that one necessarily with you guys, but it is another trade I have. But just an insanely great week. I mean, not as good as last week, but really great week. So let's kind of recap everything now that we've closed these trades out. So, and for those of you that are just watching this in the recording or you're new to this, the trades I just closed out for profit are the same trades we posted last weekend. So if you go to the Telegram channel right here and you scroll up, this is the post I sent out on May 20th. So it was last Saturday. And these are the top 6 trades I recommended, right? And then, you know, I made a little narrative as to like why I'm taking these trades. And then I also posted them again right here for you to take with the stop loss and all that kind of stuff that you need to know to take the trade. I also posted these additional trades at the beginning of the week, or I guess last weekend, for you to take this week. And then we just recap those as well. So that's super awesome. So that's where these trades came from. If you're new and you're like, what are you talking about? I didn't see a trade last night. No, these are week-long trades. That's what the COT report is designed to do. It's designed to take these more swing trade approaches. So anyways, so let's recap the rest of this here. So so this week we had our top 6 trades, right? Kind of how the week started. The key we didn't do very well, right? Like we had The Kiwi had its rate statement on Tuesday, and unfortunately, it did not work out very well for our position. I actually don't know how it ended up at for the rest of the week. I'm actually curious. How did the NZD yen finish the week off? Let me zoom into this. It looks like it just kept going down actually, or just kind of stayed stagnant. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm glad we got out of this trade. I'm glad we stopped out and moved on. But basically, if you look at the start of the week right here to where the trade is now, you would, if you were still in this, you would be down approximately 160 pips on the week if you had taken this trade and you were still in it. Now, fortunately, our stop loss wasn't that big, right? The NZD yen had a 105 pip stop loss, but additionally, and you can see that right here, right? But additionally, it has a trailing stop attached to it. So if you know at the very beginning of the week, the NZD yen went from right here to about plus 87 pips. So if you have a trailing stop engaged, what that's going to do is it's going to cause the market to go in your favor 87 pips. So even though you had 105 pips stop loss, but since the market went in your favor 87 pips, you're mitigating that amount of risk. So I ended up only losing 23 pips on that trade, even though this currency pair is down 160 pips on the week. Okay, if that makes sense. So if it doesn't, you can come back and watch the recording, or you can maybe ask the question again and I can recap it. But so these guys did hit their stops, but they hit their trailing stops, these three trades, and so that's why the losses were mitigated on those. These other trades, the USD yen long, USD CAD long, and USD franc long, none of those hit their stop losses. They just went, and they didn't have a take profit, I guess. Well, other than you're just going to close on Friday, essentially, right? So, which we just barely did. So you're just holding these trades to the end of the week, right? But this is pretty darn amazing, guys, because if you think about it, we had kind of a good start, and then I guess Tuesday it got a little rough. And then by the end of the week, we're still up 377 pips just on the top 6 trades. That's after losses, which I think is just totally groovy, super awesome, right? Okay, what else did I want to say about that? Unless you guys have other questions, let me know. I'm just trying to think what else did I want to cover with that specifically. Roger says, with the New York and Hong Kong being closed Monday, will our strategy be any different? No. The only thing that could make it different, and I don't think this will happen, is if let's say the CFTC doesn't release the COT report this afternoon because of Memorial Day weekend. Then we may have to wait, but I don't think that's going to affect this week. I do think we're going to get a COT report this afternoon at 2 p.m. or I guess 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get one. The thing is, next week is where it could change. So because we have Memorial Day on Monday, we could potentially not get a COT report next Friday, which would be, what date is that? The 2nd. We might not get a COT report on the 2nd. It'll come the following Monday. I've seen that happen a lot with national holidays. So we might get it on the 5th of June. So it shouldn't affect this week, but it will affect next week. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. I'll probably still make a Telegram post so everybody's on the same page, and just as an FYI, but we're probably going to be like 24 hours later to taking our COT report trades, just because it takes longer to get the COT report when there's a national holiday in the middle of the week somewhere. It could be a Monday, you could have a national holiday on like a Wednesday. You could have it on for like whatever, right? And so that's gonna it could potentially change that. Ben says, I just checked the release schedule and it's still on for today. Yeah, that makes sense, Ben. I think you're right. Well, and obviously you are right, because that's what they're saying. So I don't think today, if you have the ability to check, does it show you if next week is not going to be on schedule? I don't think like I said, I don't think it's supposed to come. Oh, well, okay. Maybe it will come next week on time. Anyway, just to answer your question, finish answering your question, Roger. Um, it shouldn't change what we're gonna do. Um, if if um if I don't know about Hong Kong, I actually don't know. In fact, let's just take a look at Forex Factory here, because if the market's just straight up closed, well, nobody can take a trade. But if any market's open, you can get your trades in. Um, so Monday, franc is closed, pound, euro, dollar. Yeah, okay. So the Tokyo and Sydney market should still be open on Sunday. I'm not seeing Aussie, Kiwi, or yen being affected by this. In fact, I see stuff that's keeping it open. So no, you should be able to take the same trades. I have a lot of plans this weekend, just like many of you do. So I still plan on getting my update in Telegram to everybody tomorrow. Um, but my wife's kind of scheduled my weekend. Okay, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to be, guys. But it is still on my priority list to get it out. I just don't know exactly when I'm going to get it out to you guys. Um, I am going to get this information out to you. It should be tomorrow. Um, at the normal, just late window. I should get it out, and then you can look at it on Sunday. Uh, and you guys can, in fact, you guys can actually take a look at the COT report this afternoon. Like, you can just go to the CFTC.gov and take a look late this afternoon if you want to go take a look at it. So, anyway, like I said, I don't know what my schedule is, but obviously it's on my priority list to get that out. Um, I'm going to be out and about this weekend, so I'm going to have my laptop with me. So I'll at some point be able to sit down, I'm assuming, to be able to put this together. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I hope that answers your question. I still plan to trade like normal. Nothing should change that way, because it looks like Sydney and Tokyo are still open. All right, guys. So now that we've kind of recapped our trades, again, if you haven't already closed your trades, go ahead and close, take your profits. It's been another great week. I ended up making, let's see, I need to check this. I made about, let's see what is that return? What's my percent return this week? Oops, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I made a 4% return this week, just shy of 4%. With the COT report trades, that's even with the losers right here. Last week I made over 7%, but still great week. So between this week and last week, just for me risking 1% per trade, I've made just over 11%. Which I think is pretty awesome. So if you're more risky than that, if you risk 2% per trade, each one of you should be up approximately 22% on your account. If you're one of those very risk off, risk adverse type of people where you do just the 0.5% risk per trade, I'm assuming that you'd probably be about half that. So you'd be up like 5.5% in the last 2 weeks, which is really, if you think about it, that's amazing. And that's being risk off and very risk adverse. So it's been a remarkable couple of weeks, and I just want to make sure I highlight that. Like, I'm not expecting this to happen every single week, right? We had such a great week last week. It was amazing. And then this week, I wasn't necessarily expecting this week to be good, but I also wasn't expecting it to be bad. You just never know, because you can have streaks of really good weeks and you can have streaks of bad weeks too. So I wasn't really expecting anything, but it ended up being like a pretty great week. Um, yeah, ended up just being great again. And I think if you add up last week plus this week, that's 377 pips just from the top six plus 652. Yeah, it's over 1,000 pips we've made um in the last 2 weeks, which is pretty awesome. And that's just from these trades. That's not even including the other trades that we take. Roger says pass an FTMO trial because of the last 2 weeks. That's awesome, Roger. Heck yeah. Amazing work. So let's see. What else did I want to mention about this? So again, next week we keep trading. Now, just because we've had a couple of really good weeks, does that mean next week is going to be a bad week now? Again, I have no idea. It could be a great week. It could be a losing week. Is that going to stop me from trading it, or is that going to make me want to trade it more? No, I'm just going to trade it like I always do, right? And that's all I'm asking you guys to do as well, is just keep the consistency up. And again, next week could be a different story. I mentioned this last Friday. I said I don't know how I'm going to be next week. Obviously, here I am the week later, and it was a great week. So I'm happy. You're happy. We're all happy, right? But again, I still don't know what I'm going to be like in this class in um on June 2nd. I don't know. I so I'm just going to keep doing what I do though, right? Um and that's what I guess that's the ultimate point I wanted to make is, let's say next week it's the opposite story. We had a losing week. My answer next week, I already know what my answer is going to be, is I'm going to keep trading it, even if next week's a losing week. And, next week could lose and we give up some of the money, the 1,000 pips we've made in the last 2 weeks, but we're not going to lose more than that. No way. We don't even take stop losses big enough to lose all of that money, right? So I'm definitely going to keep trading next week, and if I lose next week, I'll go back in and do it again. So I'm not going to get stopped. That's all I'm trying to say, is because it's really easy to love a strategy when it's making money. It's really easy to keep going. But when it's having its rough times and its rough trials and periods, like, can you keep going with it is the big key. And that sounds like anything, right? Like everybody's heard the same advice when you're working out. You've heard the same advice when, you're going to school or something, or when a job gets hard at work. Like if you have a tough day at work, does that mean you don't go to work tomorrow? No. You go back to work and you go earlier next time and you get your lunch ready and you kick absolute butt the next day at work. That's what you're supposed to do, right? And that's the same thing that I'm asking you to do with the trading is, if it kicks your butt, keep going. Fortunately, we haven't been kicked in the butt. We've just been making money, which is great. But again, you guys all know, just as I know, not every week that's going to happen. Okay. So I just want to prepare you guys for that, because I've noticed this with a lot of strategies like this that I've traded in the past. It's really easy to be confident and after it when things are going well, but when things don't go well, it's easy to be like, I'd rather just trade on the 1 minute chart today, or I don't want to do some long-term trading. I'd rather get on that 5 and 1 minute chart, 30-second chart, and let's see if we can make some pips that way. And so anyway, just a thought, because I've had all of those emotions before. I just wanted to share that. Okay, so what am I looking for next week? So next week, obviously we're going to find out if any of these trades change. We actually had the same signals this week as we did last week. That's actually common. I don't want you guys to think that that's weird or something like that. That has happened. Another thing that you're going to see me do is I'm going to put in a little updated. You can see the last time this was updated was on May 20th. So that was a week ago. If you come back into the journal tomorrow or Sunday and you see that it's been updated, as of tomorrow, then you know that this has been updated and that you can trust these signals over here. You can trust these signals to be accurate as far as the strategy goes. Okay. And I guess technically you can trust them to trade them as long as you understand that it's involved with any strategy and that you could lose money with some of these trades. Okay. Okay. Cool. So what am I looking for? I'm gonna see if anything changes as far as leveraged funds goes, which is the top 6 signals that I always post. But then the other bonus signals are going to come from, if by chance, when we come over here to barchart.com, what I'm going to be looking forward to this weekend is I want to see if anything changes as far as positioning. Like, let me explain. So basically, if we're looking at currencies and the non-commercial side, this week was a big deal because we had a 52-week low as far as positions goes on the US dollar. We had a 52-week high on the pound, the Swiss franc, and the euro, and also the Mexican peso all on the same week. So it was kind of a big week as far as positioning goes. This doesn't happen very often. So for example, if next week I see the euro increase its position, then chances are I'm probably going to continue to sell the euro. Okay, if I see the pound, the franc also increase to a 52-week high, if I see the Mexican peso increase their 52-week high, chances are I'm probably going to sell those things pretty hard as well. And I'll let you guys know in my little analysis what are the additional trades that I'm trying to focus on. Same thing with US dollar. If the US dollar increases, or excuse me, if their 52-week low in positioning gets even lower, then chances are I'm probably going to want to more aggressively buy the US dollar even again, right? So don't be surprised if we're buying the dollar yen or the dollar franc or dollar CAD again next week. That could totally happen. Okay. In fact, I'm kind of anticipating it right now as just a continuation signal into next week. But we're going to find out if that's actually true, and we're going to find out if that's the right thing to do based on the COT report. So just be ready for that, but that's kind of what I'm anticipating. I'm fairly confident that one of these 4, maybe 2, maybe all of them, I don't know, are going to probably increase their position yet again. And that's going to be the strongest signal to take of the week. So for example, let's say the British pound, they're at a 52-week high as far as positions go. Let's say they increase to 15,000 contracts net long. That's an increase. That's an increase in net positions. That means I'm going to want to short this because the banks are going to have no choice but to start to liquidate this position in the coming days and weeks. And so you don't want to be buying when they're close to a 52-week high or 52-week low. Okay. The nice thing about the New Zealand dollar right now is they're not necessarily at a 52-week high or a 52-week low. So if you look at this summary report, you can see where they're at. So you can see the New Zealand dollar is kind of right in the middle as far as positions go. So if they start increasing their position, you want to increase with them. If you see them start to decrease their position, you probably want to decrease with them as well. Okay. So that's just something I want you guys to be aware of. But when you start to get to an extreme, like the US dollar is an extreme low right now, that usually means a reversal is underway. Okay. And you don't want to be so they've been selling the US dollar, but when they get to something like this, you don't want to sell the US dollar at this point. You wish you had sold the US dollar as they were decreasing their position on the US dollar, but now that they've already done that, the US dollar long trade is imminent. And it's also just because of the sheer fact that they're taking profits on their shorts. So let's say, they made all this money on a short position. Now they have to subsequently exit that position. That's just the phenomenon that's taking place. It's the same thing with the euro dollar. The euro is at a 52-week high as far as positions go. So the banks have been buying the euro for months, like since September. You can go back and look at it progressively in the COT report. They've just been every week pretty much buying more euros. Even still, but now they've reached kind of an apex as far as their positions go. And when that happens, you don't want to follow the banks at that point. You kind of want to anticipate their exit. Okay. You want to anticipate their exit so that you can be ready to profit off of that when they start to exit. And you actually want to go against what the prevailing position was because they're going to exit their position. And that's literally what's happened with the euro over the last 3 weeks. It's what's happened with the pound. It's happening on the franc right now. The dollar's doing it. Like a lot of Mexican peso, a lot of stuff is doing this right now. And so that's what we're going to be watching again. So I'm pretty dang confident that there's going to be at least another couple of these currencies that are going to be at their 52-week highs or 52-week lows, and maybe even made it even more extreme. If you see it more extreme, then that's going to be my signal. That's going to be a confident signal for me to take. Okay, so I just want to make sure that that's clear as far as when I'm like what positions we're going to take together. Okay. So these will be different signals than the top six. The top six is from it comes from my current holding strategy on the leveraged funds report. And obviously it works great. It's just a little bit of a different approach. So just be aware of that. All right, guys. Any other questions? Like I said, I was going to go short today. I don't have a long webinar planned. I was just hoping to kind of recap our week, kind of enjoy our profits for, 30 minutes, which was really fun, and just kind of gear up for this next week. And I know a lot of you have a lot of fun vacations planned, so I'll probably let you go. Feel free to call or text me or send me an email if you have questions this week. I'm still going to be answering my emails for the next couple of hours, and then I'm probably going to shut down. As a reminder, I won't have another webinar until Wednesday. So I don't have any classes the rest of this day. Today, I don't have classes on Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we're back. Okay, so I just want to be clear, but that still doesn't change the fact that I'm going to post my signals. So just be ready for that. And feel free to text me on Telegram if you guys have questions. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it. It's going to be a long, good one. Enjoy these fun profits. It's always fun to go into the weekend with some good profits, right? Can't complain. So enjoy that and have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you guys in the next webinar.